And this is where they came. The Columbia Museum of Art has invited the community to join Passport to Art, where they are encouraging families to put down their phones and pick up charcoal to create a self-portrait and not a selfie. Residents in Irmo don't have this luxury. According to an ordinance, it's unlawful for residents to have chickens unless it's in an agriculturally zoned property. Forest Lake Fabrics is still trying to recover from the October flood, but despite the damages, they have moved just 2 doors down to a temporary location. Now, Franklin Graham did not endorse a candidate during his prayer rally, but that does leave the question, who are these supporters going to vote for? And Taylor Hollander finds out next. I'm outside of the University of South Carolina's School of Law, where the CNN town hall meeting will take place tonight. This gives Jeb Bush another chance at persuading South Carolina voters. Courtney Thornley, Carolina News.
Security. Yeah, we do.
Presidential candidate Jeb Bush was challenged by a 19-year-old USC student.
First thing we see, you always attack Donald Trump. It's a repetitive thing. Everyone knows you're going to fight with Donald Trump. But I mean, we all expect it. It's going to happen. Are you scared of Donald Trump? I mean, something's up. Something's up. You always bring it up.
He's not a conservative. He's not a conservative. He's the leading candidate in the Conservative Party. He's hijacked our party.
Donald Trump was right in the middle. Caleb Simpson was concerned about the fighting between Donald Trump and Jeb Bush.
That makes Jeb look bad almost, because it's every debate we expect a Jeb attack.
Trump is on the minds of many as well, often in a negative way. Troy Keaton is unsure who he will vote for, but sure about one thing.
Not Trump.
Other voters, like Rebecca Meyer, who are set for Jeb Bush, know that South Carolina may not favor him in the Saturday primary.
And I read an article that said South Carolinians are going to be voting with their middle finger, and that's why they're choosing Trump. So I think it's just a sentiment of how people are feeling with the current political situation and politics in general.
According to Real Clear Politics aggregate of recent polls, Trump leads with 33.5% of votes and Bush has 10.3%. Perhaps this explains the small turnout of supporters. I'm outside of the University of South Carolina's School of Law, where the CNN town hall meeting will take place tonight. This gives Jeb Bush another chance at persuading South Carolina voters. Courtney Thornley, Carolina News. It's feeding time at this chicken coop in Lexington County, and the hens couldn't be happier. From live crickets to hen treats, these 22 hens are just like pets. But you won't find chickens in one nearby town. Residents in Irmo don't have this luxury. According to an ordinance, it's unlawful for residents to have chickens unless it's in an agriculturally zoned property. Susan Worf is one Irmo resident who wants her own backyard chickens.
We want fresh eggs. We read news stories all the time about how our food is contaminated and, there's disease and all of that, just to get back to where we know where our food is coming from.
Some changes proposed by Worf and Hens for Irmo to the 1998 ordinance include allowing 4 hens and no roosters. The coop would measure 9 square feet for 1 bird and up to 20 square feet for 4 birds. And the coop to be at least 50 feet from the nearest neighbor. We reached out to the Irmo council members, and Councilman Barry Walker said he has not looked at the proposal yet.
Not back and forth. I haven't know anything about it yet.
We asked why is Irmo not completely on board for chickens like the surrounding areas, and he had this to say.
They probably don't want it.
But Worf thinks the lack of education about chickens is causing this opposition.
Let's be progressive. Let's not live, in the past. And the hens will be beneficial to the community.
Worf hopes the council votes yes tomorrow because she already has a spot picked out for chickens. Courtney Thornley, Carolina News. Yeah, so are they allowing you? Dreams turned into artwork.
It was actually inspired by another dream.
Graphics design major Travion Wilmore is constantly perfecting his talent, and his passion has now turned into profit.
It's no pressure. It's all about being authentic,
Wilmore's artwork can be seen on phone cases around town thanks to Mr. Penguin Designs. And this is where his artwork comes to life. Mr. Penguin's Designs has been in business for over 2.5 years. They have currently sold over 3,000 phone cases and collaborate with 7 artists. USC student and founder of Mr. Penguin Designs, Vincent Felix, wanted to create a platform to help talented artists gain exposure.
I noticed a lot of my friends had trouble making ends meet back at home, had trouble just eating lunch that day. And I was like, okay, there's something more here that I can help out with.
Artists send in pictures of their work. The design gets printed and put on the phone case cover and becomes chemically infused with the phone case. And
Bada bing, bada boom, you got a phone case.
But Felix says his business isn't just about selling phone cases.
Forget phone cases for a minute, right? Like, these kids have these talents, but not too many people appreciate it, and I feel like we can change that.
And Wilmore sees how this mission has benefited him. He receives 10% of every case that gets sold with his design.
Actually getting my work seen and people actually appreciating it, you know, and actually asking for more. And it's gonna help me get some money in my pocket so I can continue to get the materials I need to actually do better artwork.
And behind every phone case, there is a real person. Courtney Thornley, Carolina News. You can find him farming sheep and building castles. 9-year-old Hudson Schick loves playing video games like Minecraft.
I like to get different games and see if they're good or not.
But the family left their devices at home to try something different. And this is where they came. The Columbia Museum of Art has invited the community to join Passport to Art, where they are encouraging families to put down their phones and pick up charcoal to create a self-portrait and not a selfie. So it was time to put the aprons on, grab some charcoal, and get messy.
You guys have at it.
This is how Carrie Schick keeps her kids more active outside the home and away from video games.
I mean, even this morning they played it for a little while, and this was a big incentive to put them away and get out and do something different.
A new study by Common Sense Media has found that American teenagers spend an average of 9 hours a day consuming media, and tweens, like Hudson, spend an average of 6 hours. But some aren't surprised at the study.
Media, it's changed so much, and so it's everywhere. So, I mean, it would be hard not to interact with it a lot during the day.
As Hudson finishes his portrait and washes the charcoal off, he has now spent an hour less using media and instead spent an hour making his own work of art. Courtney Thornley, Carolina News. Presidential candidate Hillary Clinton may have been in the room, but she wasn't the center of attention. They call themselves the Mothers of the Movement. 17-year-old Trayvon Martin was fatally shot by George Zimmerman in 2012, and his mother, Sabrina Fulton, joined Clinton at the Central Baptist Church.
Nobody listened to us. Nobody said Black Lives Matter until this brave and powerful woman stood up for us.
Jordan Davis was shot at a gas station on Black Friday, and his mother, Lucia Macbeth, spoke against the current gun laws.
I have no doubt that she will do everything in her power to make sure that she's keeping guns out of the hands of dangerous criminals, the mentally ill.
They said that they will support Hillary Clinton and vote for her in the presidential election. And supporters in the crowd could only explain the women's stories as
absolutely amazing, so brave, so selfless.
And others couldn't find the right words.
I'm speechless.
These feelings are why Mary Soba believes people of all ages should vote for Hillary Clinton.
Young people, middle-aged people, vote, vote, vote.
These women will travel to multiple states with Hillary Clinton to give voters a chance to hear their stories. Courtney Thornley, Carolina News. A prayer rally formed on the steps of the State House this morning.
So I came here to pray that God would bring renewal back not only to America but to South Carolina.
Thousands gathered to join Franklin Graham on his Decision America tour.
Reverend Franklin Graham.
It's time for us to turn our hearts back to the Lord and pray for our country in this election that's coming up.
Graham is touring all 50 states to encourage voters to choose the next president who possesses biblical values.
Our only hope, I'm here today to tell you, the only hope for this country is Almighty God. That's our only hope.
He encouraged everyone to bow heads, grab hands, and pray together for the future of the nation.
And the most important thing that we can do is to pray.
But Graham also told the crowd to get involved in local elections.
But we don't look always at the local elections. The mayors. We need Christian mayors across this country.
He emphasized the need for Christians in leader positions.
And let's elect men and women to office who will lead this nation back to really being one nation under God, that can truthfully say, once again, in God we trust.
Now, Franklin Graham did not endorse a candidate during his prayer rally, but that does leave the question, who are these supporters going to vote for? And Taylor Hollander finds out next. Columbia firefighters spent the day dodging cars.
It's like Frogger Day. Yeah, we're trying not to get run over.
And collecting donations, even though some thought the boot was for them. We have multiple firefighters out here today. They're going by cars and collecting money for their Fill the Boot event. They're trying to raise more money this year than they did last year, which was $160,000. The money collected benefits the Muscular Dystrophy Association. The executive director of MDA, Tara Heil, says this is their largest fundraiser they do in South Carolina, and it benefits those with the disease.
It goes to help send kids to summer camp, which is very important for kids with muscle disease. They get a week of barrier-free independence at camp that they can't do otherwise.
And 13-year-old Logan Moore is one child that attends the summer camp.
Swim, archery, video games, zip lining.
Logan was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy when he was 6 years old. And now his dad runs in different states to raise awareness.
Good times? We go to Disney twice a year now.
His family is very involved with MDA.
We talk to him every week, sometimes several times a week. So they are a great family.
Every day brings new struggles for Logan and his dad, but the Moore family can count on Columbia firefighters to help the cause, even if that means dodging traffic. Courtney Thornley, Carolina News.